Welcome back to the Global Ledger. I'm Justin. Up to now, we've spent a lot of time talking about money, liquidity, balance sheets, institutions, and global systems. But today, we move closer to the screen. Because no matter how large or complex the system is, everything ultimately collapses into one number. That's the price. Most people think prices reflect value, fundamentals, or information. In reality, prices reflect something far more immediate. And that is the balance between buyers and sellers at a specific moment in time. Today's episode is about market microstructure. And that is the layer of the financial system that determines how prices are formed, not why assets are valuable. Let's get into it. Market microstructure studies how orders arrive, how trades are matched, how liquidity is provided, and how prices change tick by tick. It's the plumbing beneath the charts, models, and in the narratives, okay? If we could explain macro as the direction, okay? Microstructure kind of explains movement, okay? One of the biggest misconceptions about markets is that prices move smoothly. They really don't, okay? Prices jump because trades happen discreetly. Liquidity is finite and orders must interact. A price is simply the level at which the last willing buyer met the last willing seller. Okay, let me repeat that. A price is simply the level at which the last willing buyer met the last willing seller. Nothing more or nothing less. Okay, so prices respond to order flow, not opinions. Order flow includes market orders demanding immediacy. Okay, limit orders supplying liquidity, cancellations, and hidden liquidity. The market doesn't care why you trade. It only cares that you trade. And information only matters once it becomes in order. And liquidity is always conditional. Okay, liquidity is not constant. It depends on volatility, inventory constraints, risk limits, and time. When conditions change, liquidity providers adjust. Okay, spreads widen, depth disappears, and prices jump. This is why markets feel stable until, well, they don't anymore. So who actually makes prices? Okay, prices are not set by economists. They're not set by analysts. And they're not set by long-term investors, okay, no matter what you hear. They're set by market makers, dealers, and liquidity providers. These participants manage inventory risk, adverse selection, and execution speed. Okay, their job is not to be right. It is strictly to survive. And volatility in this regard is a microstructural event. And volatility is often blamed on news or data release or macro shocks. But volatility actually emerges when order flow becomes one-sided or liquidity thins or spreads widen. Volatility is what happens when the price of immediacy rises. And so all of these things we talk about, okay, with price, let's connect these back to the earlier arcs, okay, like liquidity shortages, funding stress, and dollar crisis. All of those macro events ultimately show up as wider spreads, thinner books, slower execution, and violent price moves. Microstructure is really where macro becomes visible. And this matters tremendously, especially as we enter ARC VIII, okay? Because ARC VIII is, we're trying to understand how markets behave under stress, why prices can overshoot, how liquidity disappears, and who absorbs risk. If you want to understand crashes and flash events and sudden repricing or why the market moved before the news, this is really the layer that you would need. Okay, so now that we've established how prices are made, okay, we can zoom in further because there is a cost to trading immediately, a cost that exists in every market at every moment and even when things feel calm. In the next episode, episode 72, we're going to explore a term that everybody has heard: bid-ask spreads. Okay, and in my terms, I think this is the price of immediacy. Okay, because once you understand spreads, you understand liquidity, volatility, and market stress. I want to thank you for listening to episode 71 of the Global Ledger. I'm Justin, and thank you for being here.